Well guys, the box office weekend numbers are officially in. So let's talk about Black Panther Wakanda Forever and its massive $180 million take. How does this compare and contrast to other Marvel releases recently, and of course to the first film? So again, going into this weekend, most people were saying 170 to 180. 85, one instance, was the highest reported, craziest case scenario. So obviously it's overperformed in regards to the low end, 170, 175 with 180, but it didn't hit the 185 that was one prediction. So again, it's doing about as good as you could expect given all the predictions, if not better than most of them. Now the big thing here is the comparisons to the first film. The first film made over 200 million, this one obviously did not. And there seems to be multiple reasons for this. One, if you track a pattern with Marvel sequels, there's been this weird, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. Famously, Avengers to Avengers Age of Ultron being, I think, the most notable. So there's always an up and down pattern. Obviously, this thing is doing worse than the original film, but again, why exactly, we don't know. There's probably going to be some articles written about this and some think pieces, which I will definitely talk about our thoughts on this. Actually, I think we're going to discuss this as a group in the next podcast, so stay tuned for that, because I think there's a lot of things here going on with these numbers. Again, I'm not trying to say that they're terrible. They're not. This is huge, but again, it's not as big as the original for multiple reasons. And the big thing here is obviously at $180 million, this officially becomes the second biggest film of the year in terms of opening weekend after Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which again is really good, all things considered, right? I don't think anybody's going to say it's an outright failure, but I do think that there's going to be significant fall off in the third and fourth weekend. Now you notice I didn't say second. That's because second weekends typically for Marvel Studios lately have been a good holdover, but then when it comes to the third and fourth weekend, unlike previous Marvel entries, they've started to fall off in a more sharp decline, because most of the hardcore and the big fans that are still here want to go in the opening weeks, and it's front loaded. And then due to the turnaround of Disney Plus releases, there's also been a correlation between that. Again, we'll talk about all of this in the coming weeks and see what happens. Some people are saying that the second weekend can honestly be better than expected. Again, we'll know about it soon, and we should be getting some more box office numbers really soon. Maybe by the end of the night, probably Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have a little bit more. But so far, this thing is on its way to being a pretty big, massive box office juggernaut for Marvel. It might be able to hit Doctor Strange numbers, if not surpass them, but we'll talk about that down the road.